Okay, today we're taking a look at something I'm excited to actually put some ink in. Just got back from New York City for a Thanksgiving shopping trip and went to the Soho Lamy store. And what did I come home with? I came home with the Lamy Studio in all black. Now, does come with a converter and a cartridge. Leave the cartridge in there because we'll go with the converter. But I'm very excited about this pen. Someone actually in the YouTube comments suggested that I give it a try after my Lamy 2000 video. So I did just that, and they were not wrong. I liked the trial of the writing experience that I had at the store. I got an extra fine nib. You can see that there, blacked out. It had a different feel than I was expecting, but I'm definitely looking forward to getting some ink in here. I haven't decided what ink I'm going to put in, so let me go take a look at the ink shelf, figure out something, and I'll be right back. Okay, so the ink I decided on is actually from the Colorverse calendar for 2024. It's called Brinicles. It's a light blue, kind of Lamy turquoise or Konpeki-esque. So with the extra fine nib, just did a little bit of writing here, and let me zoom in. And it writes as you would expect an extra fine nib. This line here is kind of my normal writing size, and this is 2mm grid and a Clyde notebook. That's kind of normal for me. This is bigger just to help show in the video, some lines. Now these lines here, we're writing straight up and down on the nib. That's something the salesperson at the Lamy store was showing me, that with this nib you can write at angles you might not be able to with some other pens. Not that I'm going to be writing straight up and down like this, but it's nice to know I could if I had a need. The reverse writing is not much, and that's really true on most extra fine nibs, just due to the already small nib to begin with. But overall, a pleasant nib. It's good for signing a signature. It just has that nice feel, and it's got a good sound. It reminds me of the Platinum Ultra Extra Fine, my 3776. Or, not quite Sailor feedback, but a good sound when writing, especially on this Clyde paper. But overall, a nice pen. Let me grab some other Lamys and I can show you some size comparisons of how they look next to each other. Okay, so here we have the Studio in the middle. We have a Lamy 2000 stainless, a Lamy 2000 Macrolon, a CP1, and a Petrol Safari. All very similar in size when capped. And let me get them uncapped and I can show you that comparison as well. One thing to notice is that the nib shape is slightly different than you'd have on a Safari here on the left. It's got a little bit more of a taper, and it does have, the nice little accent lines going down it. That kind of sets it off, gives it a little bit more visual appeal. Okay, and here we have them all uncapped and posted. These are all extra fine nibs. The Safari is slightly longer than the CP1. It actually has almost a perfect line. The two Lamy 2000s, obviously the same length. But overall, similar body style. It reminds me of the CP1, except the CP1 is a really narrow body. I like that this has a little bit more volume to it, similar to the Lamy 2000. So, glad to finally have this inked up. Look forward to putting it to some writing to see, if I come across any issues. I don't expect to, but you never know with a new pen. It takes some time to get used to it, to figure out what you like about the pen, and also to try different inks to see if there's, something different that different inks show in the properties. So overall, very pleased. It's nice to have a new pen, especially one that a viewer suggested to try out. I was a little bit hesitant at first, but then, I have to admit they were correct. So be sure and subscribe. I have some other videos coming up, including a Heritage 92, as well as probably a follow-up on some of these Thanksgiving Day purchases. Thanks for watching.